everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Mardu weapon manufacturing. I did just recently see that it won an event. I saw that on MTG Goldfish, and then I also saw Ash post about it. And I've been known to play weapon manufacturing a time or two, and it is a deck I really enjoy. With that said, we're just going to go ahead and dive in the games. We have a couple removal. We have the main win condition in the hand, so it's always kind of hard to turn a hand like this away. Play is tapped. Basically, every single line of play leads us to wanting to play this. Although I do kind of want to just answer this though. Because what, Shelter by Ghost is pretty bad, but then I just do this and answer it anyway. Because Shelter by Ghost is plus 2-0? I think. Yeah, right? Am I stupid? Is Shelter by Ghost... Shelter by Ghost does not give toughness, right? I guess I could get lost it, but I don't know. Yeah, it's 1-0, not 2-0. Yeah, but they take this, we go here, we pay ward, we answer this, their board's empty, they have their best card taken away from them. I mean, everything here is just good, right? Perka being on the play. Entire game changes if I'm on the draw. Also, we do have one of the best cards in the matchup. A card that they can't deal with. It just doesn't matter what they do most of the time. So here, I'm going to go ahead and set up. I'm going to try to jam this. See what we can hit. Hit the perfect card. Put these in. Can't pay the ward, but we'll take out the scavenger, which slows the growth a lot. This is pretty good, but realistically we'll always be able to handle it. I could sacrifice this, but we just I'm gonna sacrifice the Grim Bauble. Weirdly, I'll take a Soul Guide Lantern. Free draw, 1 mana artifact to play. Everything seems great here, by the way. I have no complaints. This is also very risky unless they have a protection spell, because I could in theory pay the ward, but obviously I'm not going to because it's way too much, and I need, actually it's not too much. I can actually pay exactly the ward because this is free, right? Let's force them to protect it if they have it. Auto pay, auto pay. Not very often are you going to be able to pay ward 4, so I don't blame them for that. Yeah, I would be out of there too. If I had a Shelter by Ghost on my creature with ward 2 and it got answered with only 5 mana in play and one of it entered tapped, I would also concede. I do not blame them at all. That is a very good matchup for us. Go first again. It must be my birthday. You can just hold this. I'm not too eager to run it out. A lot of times I do want to play it early because our mana base. My opponent mulls again. I feel like they mulliganed in the first game as well. Here we are. We're going to play weapon manufacturing. Most likely iceberg into united, which is just such a good curve, especially obviously being on the play. That allows this curve to be even better. Just because we get to kind of ignore everything on turn 1 or do nothing turn 1. Here it's uncounterable because their mana's tapped, obviously. Spell Pierce is a card that could get us. I do keep making this mistake, I will say. I keep thinking that this is an artifact, even though it's an enchantment. And I know it's an enchantment, but I keep doing that. We'll go here. I understand this enter tap, but I just want my mana to be a little bit better, less painful, potentially. Abrade something I feel like I have to worry about a little bit here. Unless it's just Jeskai. This will be a weirdly hard matchup. This trigger on a stack. It could go a braid here. We're gonna jam the iceberg. They float to mana. Maybe they just have a braid. This hits a braid afterward. That would suck, but maybe I should have just waited, right, for them to do something like this. But I just don't feel like they were going to. Why commit anything out? Really, this matchup isn't that hard as long as our weapon manufacturing stays online and we can then use like United Battlefront and things like that. So potentially because there's lessons, I'm actually going to take a different approach here. Instead of going for Battlefront, I think, even though it is very impactful, I'm going to go Tezzeret. I'm going to go -3 here to grab our Soul Guide Lantern. Lands do need to stop eventually here, though. We'll get one of these out. We got to make sure that their lesson cards just don't become too impactful. Tezzeret's back up to 3. Then we can slowly kind of work our way down. With all these land hits, though, I will say the good part is, one, we do have this online. Only a sorcery, which kind of sucks a little bit. That means this can be Helix and stuff on our end step if they want to. But realistically, Tezzeret's gone, or this is gone. Not entirely sure which will be which. But we can use this to pop this and do damage over time while making 3/3s that our opponent has to respect and answer, right? Tablet with blue to red. Deal. I would much rather that one be in the graveyard. Could be a seer, I guess. Okay. Actually, fantastic draw. No more license available. Negate, I guess, could happen here. So I'm going to jam this and use this card advantage. Quench is also 2, so I have 2 for it. Yep. We would have got blown out by this if we would have done it the other way. So obviously I'm pretty happy with that play. I could just go starting town, get it out of the way. Activate here, do this. Upstairs for 2. I don't care about this red mana. Most likely it's like a firebending student or something. We're going to do our little combo here where we Tezzeret plus target this, untap, activate, do our munitions again. A lot of lands. A lot of lands, unfortunately. Next turn, we should be able to hold this up kind of indefinitely to crack to draw a card. See, this is exactly what we want, though. We want this to be a bad card. The other one on the stack, we just exile the graveyard. Sure. If they do another one of these to try to draw 3, we just activate this, exiling their whole graveyard. Therefore, it'll go down to 0. And then that means they'll only get to use it as a strategic planning. Well, I guess it's worse, kind of, in a way. I don't know, strategic planning is a bit weird. Okay, so it'll quench ya, negate, no more lies. A lot of things could be the card here, but let's jam. Here, this is why we do it. So now you'll see this little logo will go down to 0, so it's way worse. I only get 1 card instead of 3, which is pretty good for me. Let's go weapons. I almost want to go weapon here and then get something else, but I think just weapon Aang's Iceberg, take away 2 of their mana here is just good enough. Yeah, and they just give up. They're just over it. All right, I mean, high aggro, full on control, 2 good wins back to back. We'll definitely take that. Okay, I think we definitely keep this right. We don't have a weapon manufacturing unlike the other hands, but we're on the play. We have the journal. The journal is actually probably the card that impresses me most so far in a deck like this. It's just weird because it's legendary. You never really feel like it's going to give you that much value until it does. And then you're like, well, I was apparently wrong about everything and nothing else matters. On a dry board against mono white, potentially, I am going to play the journal. I need to fix my webcam. I actually sat up like an adult. But I want this in play. I don't want to waste these. This doing 2 damage with no other artifacts kind of doesn't matter. But journal can. Because I'm content without a weapon manufacturing to almost just play land, play this, shoot a thing, sack to this, and call it a day. Especially when my opponent's going to play potentially protection here. Okay. I mean, that's pretty okay with me. I'll get huge value out of this. And this actually matters more here than it would later. And the reason that is because later they're going to have a lot more mana up, and every creature they play will either have ward or they will have a form of protection that cannot beat this if they only have one creature. Because again, ward, obviously that's if we target it. This just says when this enters, each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. But one creature, then nothing, right? So they do this, they spend the mana into it, might as well. This also, by the way, tells us they do not have a protection spell. That is the #1 rule there. With that, no protection spell. A scry, I don't think I'm that worried about this. I'm going to look to go for the big swing play here, I think. Or we could just do this and crack it. And then call that a day and give them no scry, which isn't even that bad. Which honestly is just probably better. Let's just isolate their thing, use this on end step to make a 3/3 and just start slowly closing out the game. Also, getting one more draw will allow us to get into weapon manufacturing. It's a little bit easier. Sure, that's fine. 2/1. 2/1, sure. These are all clean upable with a Legion Extruder here, plus weapon manufacturer type nonsense. So I'm just going to hold these, I guess. Maybe. Black, white. Yeah, that should be fine. Weapon and spring-loaded trap. Unfortunately, these do not clear anything. That's kind of what I was afraid of. We'll obviously hold our 3/3 back. We'll gladly trade if that's what they want to do. Should spread this. Well, they actually can't spread this. If they do, one will die. It'll be actually the first time I've seen it happen. Oh, I think, right? Did they not die? Their legendary token creature, Spider. They're both named Spider. Wait, did it just make them do that? Is that why they conceded? No, I think you still have to do it before you can even concede. But I thought if a legendary had the same name like that, you had to I could be wrong about that. I actually just don't know. Alright, this is like the 4th game in a row in the draw. This cannot cast weapon manufacturing is the only issue here. Is that okay with me? I think we had them all. That mana is just too tough to justify, right? Let Angs go here. I think I'm going to go ahead and play my Sacred Foundry first. I hate mulliganing that hand because that hand is just really nice. Our hand will be pretty good if we find one more land, hopefully. Obviously, we have to hit it. This is probably green-white Gearhulk. Glistening Gearhulk, Badger Mole Cub nonsense, if I had to guess. Okay. Our hand is absolutely phenomenal if I find one more land. So pretty much no matter what they do here, I'm probably looking to crack this to try to hit one more land to surveil to. Because I'm just going to start barreling every one of these that I can. Yeah, that's fine. Make them attack here. I could Angs this, but again, I think this is way more important. Oh, played so good. But I think I have to pass on both. I really need to land with this many battlefronts, and we do not find it. In the turn, see if they tap out for something else. I want their draw option to be after. Tough. This is tough. I'm 49, so I'm not 49. I ain't that old. I'm 11 cards deep. I'm also not 11, but I'm 11 cards deep on 3 lands. So hopefully we can hit another one here. I just have a really, really good feeling that it's going to be another starting town, and that's going to be awful. But my opponent has a Badger Mole Cub. They haven't Ouroboros yet, so I do feel pretty okay with how the game's going. Like, it could definitely be going worse for us. This is a fight, and this is a 1-drop, so sure. This sucks so much. I hated getting rid of this, but with Landwehr Elf up, it's just so hard to justify. And I just have to get clonked by this thing, I guess. The worst part now, and this is the thing you have to think about when you're playing, is the worst part now is because we haven't hit lands so much that a pocket of lands you have to feel is coming soon. And with that pocket of lands, that means these are most likely going to be duds. Or at least feel like duds. Sure. Yeah, it's pretty good. I finally hit a land, and with that, I kind of have to go for this. Or we hit like a mad lad. I know weapon manufacturing's here, but we actually need to clear this board. Because this can blow up artifacts and enchantments. And these do not target. With putting one of these in the graveyard, it's actually kind of absurd that we hit one. Now we can pop this if they go to blow it up to get their Sirach back. So we don't really lose value there. And my opponent concedes. That's... If there was a game we were going to lose, it felt like that one was the one. But we pull it out. I mean, they obviously didn't play a Badger Mole Cub. They didn't play an Ouroboros. So there was a lot to be desired from their hand as well. So fortunately enough, we threw a hand back and we ended up grinding it out. So let's move on. All right. I'm not opposed to this hand, even though I can't cast this. I can cast everything else. And I might even be able to find the red right away. And this is one of the hands where I don't even mind playing it before this. Oftentimes I do like to wait. Let's just go ahead and play this. Yeah, the Candy Trail. Try to here. Oh, Tetheret's good. Oh man, both of these cards are really good. If I just take both of these, like leave them and then use Candy to draw. I can't cast this. Maybe I bottom this and take the Tezzeret as the draw. Because they're both just so good, right? And if this is a Graveyard Matters deck, I would like to have the opportunity to go fetch out my Soul Guide Lantern. And I think that's kind of the thought process. Without a white land, I do need to draw kind of a bit to make this work. So obviously I'm a bit more worried about that happening than other things. Here against potentially mono white again, I do feel like overall mono white, even though I do think mono white has one of the best win rates in the game, this Scavenger having a 60% win rate, by the way, I do think we are one of the few decks that can match up really, really well with it because of how annoying this card can be against them and how annoying this card can be against them. This card is absolutely atrocious for them to deal with. They hate that card more than anything. Tablet would be nice. The Spider comes down. Weapon manufacturing online. I don't even know what to go for here. Graveyard doesn't matter. We have the Candy Trail. I could just go the Blade and just hope it's enough. Then crack for a draw next turn. Or I can go for a draw. Well, draw now doesn't really matter as much. Let's just play the Blade. Sorry, opponent. I know that's kind of... This seems like a slow roll. My hand's just so weird. They don't really know about these, which maybe they can deduce that. We're losing a ton of value on these because we're playing all of our stuff out. When Champion Control enters, scry one. Sure. Well, we finally found the card. So let's go weapons. And then we can go crack Candy here, gain 3 draw. We're obviously looking for a temp lockdown now. Or that's not a card. What's the 3-drop card? I can't think of it now. I don't know. Temporary lockdown is just in my brain now, and I can't on temporary lockdown. Okay. Oh. I could draw here, but do I just like lock them up for a turn? Like just say, hey, if you want to attack me, go for it. Now that they don't have anything here. I feel like this is fine enough play. At least it feels that way. Scry 1, they go bottom top. Or on the bottom, none top. It's only a scry 1. Oh, Pinnacle. That means we can do literally whatever we want, however we want. Which is nice. Go Tezzeret. Force him to go after him a bit here. I can go Grim Bauble if I want, but now I can't because of how my mana tapped. I should have left my Castle Doom open. But I could go Soul Guide Lantern. I could go here, which I guess is fine. So if I do this, it actually puts Tezzeret to 3. Artifact or creature. This is an enchantment, so I can't do anything. Tezzeret's now at 3, chilling. If this gets cleared, which I guess it will with my Star Cage, which is a bit awkward, but then I have damage to choose from because this will leave instantaneously when this happens before I have to target, I believe. So I will actually get to target that for free. This is even better. I think that's actually worst case scenario for them. Because this means if I do clear your creature, I get that back, which with 1 card in hand, I almost want to go for the value play here. Maybe that's too greedy. It's probably too greedy. It's definitely too, like, if I airball, I lose all my value and I could just get hit for like 12 next turn. Give this flying or something with Nora. Pinnacle Star Cage is the card, by the way. It's at a temporary lockdown. I do want to get this down, which sucks, because I haven't been able to do so. So you'll see this will immediately enter before I get to target with my weapon manufacturing or my munitions. Because when enchantments or artifacts like that leave so suddenly, it's instant that card returns to the battlefield. Technically, in resolution of like a farewell, depending on the order of the cards, is actually how your cards get exiled, which is a bit absurd. But I think that's just goes to show, even with like the little bit of weird mana situation, that this matchup is just going to be in our favor, and it really relies on them having really good cards to beat us, because this ward doesn't matter quite as much to us when we can do it for free like we did in the 1 game and pay 4 ward on it with the shelter and that, or we can just end up picking it up by just dealing 2 off of a token that we make and just pay the 2 and we get it done. So yeah, with that, we'll move on.